Hello everyone, welcome to one more video of SPL BIO-TONIC, a channel to make biology subject easy. Students, in this session, we will talk about reproduction in angiosperm, part 1. If you see the heading of this topic carefully, there are two terms here. One is reproduction and second is angiosperms. Students, as we all know, there are three types of reproduction. These types are asexual, vegetative, and sexual. So, in this session, we will be mainly focusing on sexual reproduction. Second part of the heading is angiosperms. As we all are familiar with classification of plants, these plants are broadly divided into two groups, cryptogams and phanerogams. Now, cryptogams are further divided into thallophyta, bryophyta, and pteridophyta, whereas phanerogams are further divided into gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms are the group of plants which produce seeds but fruits are absent. In angiosperms, the plant shows well-developed flowers, fruits, and seeds. So in this video, we'll talk about various parts of the flower. Students, in the beginning, I request you all to please do like and share this video and hit the subscribe button to get notification of all my new videos. Alright. In angiosperms, sexual reproduction occurs with the help of flower. So, we can define flower as modified stem which is meant for sexual reproduction. Now, let us talk about various parts of the flower. Students, this is a stalk of the flower. It is called pedicel. This pedicel leads to broader portion called thalamus. This thalamus holds various floral whorls. These floral whorls are of two types, non-essential and essential whorl. Non-essential whorl include calyx and corolla, whereas androecium and gynoecium are essential whorls. Calyx is the first and outermost whorl. Its members are called sepals. It is green, photosynthetic, and protects the inner whorl during bud condition. The second whorl is corolla. Their members are called petals. These petals are colored in nature. So, these colored petals attract pollinators such as birds, insects for pollination. It also protects the inner part of the flower during bud condition. Corolla is followed by two essential whorls, namely androecium and gynoecium. Androecium is the third whorl. Their members are called stamens. Each stamen shows lower filament and upper anther. Stamen produce pollens which in turn produces male gametes. Last whorl of the flower is gynoecium. Its members are called carpels or pistils. Each carpel is made up of ovary, style, and stigma. The function of the carpel is to produce female gamete. This carpel, after fertilization, produces seeds and fruits. Students, we can learn many terms associated with this flower. Now, this flower shows all four whorls, that is, calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Therefore, A flower with all 4 whorls is called complete flower. If one or more whorls are missing, such a flower is called incomplete flower. Again, this flower shows both androecium and gynoecium. So, a flower with both androecium and gynoecium is called bisexual flower. In some flowers, such as cycas papaya, the flower may show either androecium or gynoecium. Such a flower is called unisexual flower. Accordingly, in male flower, androecium is present but gynoecium is absent. These flowers are also called staminate flowers. In female flower, gynoecium is present but androecium is absent. Such flowers are also called pistillate flower. Students, I hope you are clear with the structure of flower. I highly recommend you to take a flower, especially hibiscus or datura, and dissect this flower at home. I am sure you'll understand all these parts of the flower in better way. In the next video, I'll discuss about male gametophyte. Alright. Students, as we all know, each stamen consists of 2 parts. The lower part of the stamen is called filament and upper part is called as anther. The 2 anther lobes are connected by connective. Normally, there are 2 anthers in a stamen. Such anthers are called dithecous anthers. If there is 1 anther lobe, then such an anther is monothecous. Now, look at this monothecous anther. It shows 2 sporangia. So, monothecous anther is bisporangiate in nature. Similarly, dithecous anther shows 4 sporangia. So, it is called tetrasporangiate structure. Students, if we take a section of anther, it looks like this. As this anther is dithecous in nature, therefore, it shows 4 sporangia. This transverse section shows 4 parts and all 4 parts are same. Therefore, one section of it is magnified and it looks like this one. Its outermost layer is epidermis. It is made up of flattened cells. The layer below epidermis is called endothecium. This endothecium is made up of radially elongated cells. Endothecium is followed by middle layer, which are composed of thin-walled cells. On its inner side, middle layer shows a single layer of cells called tapetum. This layer gives nourishment to the developing pollen. This tapetum also secretes sporopollenin. Students, we will talk about sporopollenin in the next video. This tapetum encloses pollen sac, which is also called sporangium. This sporangium contains microspore mother cells, which undergo meiosis to form microspores or pollens. These pollens develop partly in anther and partly on the stigma. In case of dithecous anthers, the 2 anther lobes are connected by connective, which we can see clearly in this diagram. Students, this diagram also shows lateral opening called stoma. This stoma is meant for the release of pollen during the dehiscence. Students, during the early development, anther develops from a single cell. This single cell is called archisporial cell. This archisporial cell divides by mitosis to form outer primary parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell. Sporogenous cell forms microspore mother cell, whereas outer parietal cell divides by mitosis to form wall of the anther. This wall of the anther, as we have discussed earlier, is composed of different layers such as epidermis, endothecium, middle layers and tapetum. Students, I hope you are clear with the structure of a stamen and transverse section of anther. I highly recommend you to observe the types of anthers found in hibiscus, dhatura, and give your answers in the comment section below. In the next video, I'll discuss about different aspects such as formation of pollen, its structure, and development of male gametophyte. So stay home, stay safe. Thank you.